Hey guys, Nora Nightmare here, and I have been getting some requests on my Facebook to do makeup tutorials, which I actually hadn't been planning on doing on this channel, but I love taking requests, so I'm gonna do it. So today I am doing a 1950s style eye look, but it is specifically designed for hooded eyes. So I am putting together this little tutorial so that you can sort of get an idea of how I do that. It's not the most historically authentic, but it creates a really nice, wearable, flattering look that can easily be paired with otherwise retro makeup and styling and give you that nice retro feel. So, without any further ado, through the magic of video, I'm going to have no makeup on and then we can get going. I'm going to start off with eyeshadow primer. Some people like to use concealer instead of eyeshadow primer, which you can totally do if you don't feel like going out and buying another product, or you can use whatever eyeshadow primer you already have on hand. Doesn't really make terribly much difference. Use whatever works for you. I'm not in the business of trying to get you to buy stuff. So all this stuff, just use whatever you have on hand. Doesn't matter, whatever, not a big deal. I would grab a fluffy brush of some kind. This one's from Morphe, but whatever you got. And then I'm going in with a matte, like creamy color. And I do try to do everything matte as much as possible. When you have hooded eyes, anything sparkly or shimmery can play that up. And I want my eyes to look big and happy and awake. Plus, if you have any fine lines or anything like that, shimmers and sparkles can settle into them, and that's not cute. So just throw this matte creamy shade all over the lid, and then after that I would grab something a little denser. This is another Morphe one. I went crazy and bought a ton of their brushes. They're pretty decent, they're pretty cheap, but I kind of wish I'd waited and bought the new was it Wet n Wild, because those look pretty sick. And I tend to go for like neutral tone colors because I have a fairly neutral complexion. But again, pick out whatever you feel looks best on you. So I'm doing a sort of a 3-color look with the pale cream and then a mid-tone brown and then a deep brown for sort of creating some depth. I think I'm gonna go in with this guy, which is just like a matte taupey sort of color. And then for this, start on the lid and then open your eyes. And you'll see, because I have a hooded eye, my crease is like buried. So what you're gonna wanna do is sort of trace out with your eye open, like a little mound shape, I guess, and then sort of fill that in. Basically, you want to create like a little rounded arch shape on the lid, and then blend that out so that it's nice and soft. Going back with that super fluffy brush to just blend the edges out. And this is part of why I like to set my eyeshadow primer with that creamy shadow, because it just makes the blending a little easier. Okay, so you can already see that there's a little less hood action going on. I'm going in with this guy, which is like a deep matte brown, like an espresso kind of color. And then this is the brush that I'm using. It's a little fluffy, but tight enough that I can actually get some color to lay down. And now here, I'm staying inside. You can feel your orbital bone. And so I'm trying to stay inside that so that I don't have to, so that I don't wind up going too far outside my eye. But I'm just trying to create like a little bit of depth here. And this is a technique that you're gonna probably wind up using for a lot of different eye looks. That sort of like tapping it right into like the outer part of the crease. Okay, so that's the shadow. It's pretty low key, not real fancy, but it looks really soft and nice, and it's really flattering on that hooded eye shape. You see, it sort of brings my eyes up, makes them look a little more open and bright. So now we are going to move on to liner. So I'm going to start with black pencil liner. Tight lining is your best friend. So to tight line, you are going to hoist up your eyelid. This looks really scary, but it's not. You're going to go in to your waterline under your eyelashes. See, right in there. It's really hard to talk while you're doing this. Okay, so now you can see the difference between my eyes with the tight lining and without. It makes it look like you're wearing liner. It also makes your eyelashes look super, super thick and dense, which is awesome. Especially if, like me, you don't often have the energy for fake eyelashes. I wear them maybe like once or twice a week, but that's about all I can muster up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tight line the other eye. Okay, so you're probably gonna have some transfer from your upper lash line to your lower. That's not really a big deal, I don't think. I kind of like the extra definition. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in with my sort of little fluffy, blendy, packy guy. I don't know how to say that. I'm gonna take a little bit of the darker shade and just throw it under here because I don't want to line it, but I just want a little definition. Plus, back in the 50s, they tended to leave the lower lid less adorned. Okay, now we're gonna finish up the liner. So, like I said, with hooded eyes, I have this, like you can't see my eyelid at all. There's just like skin flopping down on top of it. So I don't want to put on eyeliner really because it's gonna make my eyes look even more hooded. So what I'm gonna do instead is grab a little angle brush, one of the real flat ones. I like this little 99-cent cheap ass Wet n Wild matte black. I swear it's the best matte black. It's like MAC Carbon, only it's 99 cents instead of like 20 bucks. This stuff is awesome. And so what I'm gonna do is load up a little bit of that on here and press it right into my lash line. And then this is gonna sort of become our liner. And so I'm just sort of flicking it like you would with a more traditional cat eye. And then just working it all the way across my eyelid, right at the lash line. This is also great for people who don't feel real confident with their liner skills. This is gonna give you definition, it's gonna look super glamorous and awesome, but it's not a huge pain in the ass. And so there, you can see it's got kind of a nice little flick. It gives you that rockabilly feel, but without being a huge kerfuffle. Just gonna go ahead and do the other side. I'm just gonna grab mascara. I really like this guy. And then what you can do with your mascara is sort of give your lashes a little bit of like direction. So I sort of sweep mine out so that it helps complement that cat eye look. So that is the shadow and mascara. You can see how crappy and uneven my eyelashes are. They're long, but they're uneven, and it's very frustrating. So now for eyebrows, because I feel like eyebrows are pretty important for a good retro look. So here I'm going in with this matte espresso color. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this. I don't feel the need to buy a whole crap ton of brow products. I don't use brow pencil. All I use is eyeshadow, and then I have this little ColourPop. They call it a brow gel. It's more like a waxy pomade. That's all I use. I don't go totally crazy with my eyebrows. I don't know. So what I do is I start right about midpoint, and I start on the bottom and I define my shape. Just like that. And then I go in on the top, define my shape there too. I usually like a little bit of like a point to the top arch. Again, I like that 50s look. Now, I do like my eyebrows a little thinner than in the 50s. It's the goth in me. I will always like skinny goth eyebrows, but with a very retro shape. And then I reload the brush and just start filling in the front. You know, as the product gets worked into my eyebrow, the closer I get to the center, the less product there is. There we go, that's an eyebrow. And then I just grab my little clear gel. I think this is like $6 from ColourPop. They get mixed reviews, but I like them, and they are very budget friendly as far as those sort of things go. And then I just sort of tame everything down so it's in a spot that I like. Ta-da! Eyebrow! Just gonna go ahead and do the other side. Have you ever seen like when they overly Photoshop people and they make them look completely perfect and symmetrical? How weird that shit looks. I don't know, it's just kind of gross to me. I like people who look kind of off. I think they're more interesting. Okay, so there's eyebrows. Again, you can see my eyebrows don't match, and they're never gonna. And so I just try not to worry about it too much. So that is my modified retro eye look for hooded eyes, as well as some eyebrow goodies and a little tip and trick on how to prime your eyelids for shadow. So as always, feel free to leave me comments and questions down below. I will get to them as soon as I can. Also, follow me on Instagram. It's Nora_Nightmare13, and you can comment on any pictures or whatever there, or DM me if you have any video requests or questions about products I use, stuff like that. So just go ahead and get at me whenever. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.